Sweet. Okay. We are back with another snare drum lesson. Cool. Let's do some stick control just to warm up. Okay, so last time we talked about going down this side, right? Cool. Let's go ahead and start, and we'll go down this second side.
Okay.
Here. And as always, the goal is good tone and consistency. For time's sake, let's just read straight down.
Okay.
So no repeat.
Okay.
1, 2, ready, and go. Awesome. So that felt pretty good. Timing was really nice and smooth. Again, just being super picky. Anytime that we would start a new measure, particularly with a left hand, or if there was a double left going into a new exercise, there still is just a little bit of weight, a little bit more weight where that gets pushed.
Okay.
So just be aware, because to the listener, we shouldn't feel where that downbeat would be. So just something to think about. And then, another thing that would be really good to do is, of course, when you're practicing these by yourself, if you have a metronome, practice with the metronome displaced, so that even though you're feeling the downbeats there, the metronome is maybe on the off beats or shifted by one beat or whatever. You can do a whole bunch of stuff with it. It'll help improve timing and all that good stuff.
Great.
But cool. Yeah, so continue to use this. Of course, just keep working and repeating the exercises. For next time, let's go ahead and go ahead and maybe look at the triplet section, if you just want to take a look ahead.
Okay.
At some point, which brings me to the next topic. So we've been doing our grids, right? We did timing grid, we did accent grid, but they were all 16th note based. I'd like to go ahead and do that, but triplet based now. So before we jump into that, let's quickly review our, can we do that 4-3-2 exercise real fast? Just to get our strokes going, our accents and our taps and our upstrokes. Do you remember it?
I think so.
I'll guide you through it. 1, 2, and ready, and go.
No,
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2,
Yeah,
3,
so that's
1,
4
2,
times.
3, 1. Okay, got it.
4 times on the left, then 3s 4 times.
Got it.
1 and 2 and ready and go. And by yourself. 1, 2, ready and go. And So there it is. It's good. Just be careful. Sometimes I feel like those accents are just a little forced.
Okay.
Which would be fine. Well, maybe we can start talking about sound quality now. So maybe instead of going for a very harsh, almost staccato, just think more resonant and up. And that's going to come from just keeping that thumb and the first finger where the fulcrum is relaxed. I think, and I can see it, especially in your left hand still. The motion is better, but when we come up, you sort of pull in, and that tightens up. Sometimes there's even a little bit of a little bit of extra motion afterwards. Instead of just letting that stick, it's kind of like, whoa,
Okay.
So again, just as you're doing it, we can afford to be more and more and more picky. But that was good. Sound was good. The overall motion is much better, and the timing I felt of those inner beats was better than last time I did. So cool. Now that we have those motions back in our hand, let's talk about triplet grid.
Okay.
Right. So just like with the fours, or the 16th notes, we're gonna grid it. So put the accent on the first partial 4 times, then the second partial, third partial, and then repeats twos repeat twice, and then ones repeat 4 times. Okay? So the trick with this one though is because the sticking alternates, right? So no longer is it just all rights on the first partial or the third partial and all lefts on the second or fourths. We're constantly alternating. And every time you move a partial, the sticking alternates. So let's just go through the fours real fast to break it down, and we'll go from there. Remember to count. 1, 2, ready, go. Good. One more time. Cool. Can we do the twos now?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go for twos. 1, 2, ready, and. Let's do it in 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then that should be fine for us. 1, 2, ready, and. We'll count in 3. I'm good?
Wait. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So it turns into a 4/3.
Yeah.
1, 2, ready, and.
This is a 4/3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Can we put it together?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Starting from the 4s all the way through. 1, 2, 3, and. It's okay. A little slower. Ready, and. yourself,
Okay.
just real fast.
Okay.
Take some of the pressure off.
All right.
Yeah, cool. So let's revisit those twos again, just real fast.
Okay.
Okay. Don't forget to add the last partial. Okay, you kind of just jumped in. Don't forget that last line.
Okay. Okay.
Go ahead and try again.
The twos are the
Yeah,
whole
just the twos.
Okay.
Good. Okay. So let's add that one to the book.
Okay.
Okay. And we'll both try and have it a little bit more solid for next time. It's been a while since I've counted it, and that's weird.
Yeah. It feels weird to count.
So, but that's really healthy for
Yeah.
us to do. And so really, again, always pull out a metronome and just work that out so that way you know. And then once the exercise is in your hands, really start paying attention to the quality of sound, because we weren't getting the same quality of sound out of all of our notes. It was pretty diminished.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Next thing on the list, we talked about buzz rolls last time. And we talked about those two little building things that we did, I think, right? With
Yeah.
Did we address that? Good. And then did we do the it's like check and roll with buzzes.
I don't think we did check and roll with this.
Okay, that's fine. Let's go ahead and just see where the buzzes are
Okay.
at. Okay, so let's just do the standard buzz builder. This guy. Just go ahead and maybe on that right. Start backing out of it.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. The main point for this is as you're going from that slow hand speed all the way to the fast and then back down, that you're being super aware that the sound that you get is consistent. So when you were doing it, it was okay. The right hand sounded good, but the left hand was pretty tight starting. And then once we evened it out, that left hand opened up, but then they both opened up, and you were getting some pretty almost doubles. It was pretty wide. So
Okay.
maybe find a happy medium. Okay, so that's the goal. Nice tension. And start trying to make your hands match.
Okay.
From the very beginning.
Okay.
And then only when you feel them match, start easing yourself into that role. And then if you start hearing something funny happen, stick with it until it evens out again, and then continue on.
Okay.
Go ahead and try that. Really just open your ears. who's to say? But let's talk more specifically. What did you think about the quality of sound and motion going into it versus the quality of sound and motion?
I think it was better coming out instead of going in.
Okay, and why do you think that was the case?
Because I was more focused on it coming out.
Okay, here, I want to show you something real fast. And this is what I saw, okay? And just tell me if you agree or what you think.
Okay.
So when you started, so what's the main difference first between how you started those things versus how you
when I started, it was like blah, 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 blah.
Okay, even more specifically.
Like my hand was just like it was like blah, blah.
Yeah. So I think if you start instead of thinking of sort of the molar or just very wrist-led motion, just keep everything nice and in the wrist and not down, but there's no need to prep all the way up here to start those buzzes. Otherwise, it really opens up on us. So, which is good. I'm glad you caught that. And so that's why coming out of the roll, because you were coming out, you're able to maintain that motion. You didn't start whipping again.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, those are things to sort of just like look out for. Okay. And then let's talk about what was going on in the middle. What did you feel was going on in the middle when some of those inconsistencies were happening?
I tried to get my right, or I tried to get my left to match my right, but then I stopped paying attention to my right, and then I started going, and then my left hand started going, like, oh shit. Then I started focusing on the right, and then my left hand started fucking, I'm missing up, I'm sorry. I said no. But it started messing up. So like, I would focus on my left, and then avoid my right, and then my left started doing this, and then I was like, oh, I started focusing on my right, and then my left started doing this.
Okay, cool. So,
and then I eventually cut it. I was like, all right, pay attention.
I think the lesson that can be learned from that is just to stay relaxed through it. And even if you're trying to focus, don't allow yourself to just completely bury the tip of the stick into the drum. Motion itself is always very, so that way we can let that stick breathe versus, which has its place. You know, when we're doing staccato, we have that color option, but for what we're doing, just focus on being as relaxed and fluid as possible. And if you have to adjust them, this macro motion here doesn't change. So just be aware of that.
Okay.
Go ahead and try again, and try and make some of those fixes.
Even slower?
Yeah. I want you to hear the quality of each one, make it match, then start blending it.
Okay.
Then try to match. Watch it. Here. do you think about that time?
A little better. Maybe
You don't ask me. Ask yourself.
a little better. Then going
Yeah. And so why was it better?
because I was focused on just.
Right. We got rid of this motion. It started coming back towards the end. Okay. And I think that's a good thing to realize too. That this is an exercise about consistency of motion. I want to use the exact same motion at a slow tempo as I do when I'm actually in the roll. So just be aware of that. This is not something where as you get slower, you need to get higher, or we want everything to be a very nice, just like blanket, whatever. So yeah, that was good. Towards the beginning there, I kind of pointed it out to you, but did you feel how that right hand and that left hand were matching in the articulation and in the length? And then you kind of balanced it out, and then it was like, oh, okay. And then before you knew it, you had this nice, clean buzz roll. So as you go ahead and practice over the next couple of days, I would encourage you to sort of just mess around with that, and then we can start talking about how to control that at different dynamics and different hand speeds and for different durations. Cool. Last thing I just want to introduce to you, we're at the point now where we can actually start talking literature. So this is a great book. We talked about rudiments and what rudiments are last time. And this book is really cool because it takes you through all the rudiments, and it has an etude per rudiment. So that being said, I'm sure you've seen this before, but I'd like to go ahead and just look at it again. This is a great exercise, and it's a wonderful warm-up. Let's go ahead and just read through the first, 12 measures or so? So from beginning to A, just because I kind of want to see how you read. And then if you could prepare this sort of for next time too, I'd like to hear it. So, when you're ready.
The first 12?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
No.
Okay, cool.
The first 12 measures. So
okay.
Just from the top to A, because
okay.
We will move on. Good.
Is that right?
My one comment would be, look at this sort of stuff.
Oh, yeah, I'm
What's
sorry.
going on,
Piano.
and this sort of stuff. And then, just in general, anytime we switched from those sort of motions, like here and here, anytime we kicked it up that notch, the tone changed drastically. You kind of squeezed and hammered them out. Try and stay as relaxed as possible. Go ahead and just try, let's try from maybe here.
Okay.
Just so we can grab that last little bit.
Okay.
And just stay nice and relaxed all the way through. Good. Double check the sticking there.
Oh. Sorry, I was like...
Yeah, no. all good. It's all good. So yeah, just watch that, and then in general, it's still. I really feel like micro pulse happening, like ba ga 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 da ga 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 ba ga da da. Can we think a little bit more macro? Ba 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 ya ba da 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 and so on. So just pull the feel back and try and blend all these notes together into a longer phrase. And then you miss that crescendo again.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Go ahead and try one more time.
Okay.
I just need to check how long this is. Okay.
I think I messed up somewhere. I think right here.
It's a couple times.
I did. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So yeah, go ahead and look at this for next time. And cool. Thanks for joining me here.
All right.
Sweet.